Is brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
Welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Sacha Manning, right?
I'm Marlene Cuellar.
And I'm April Martinez. And welcome to another episode of Open Your Eyes.
That's right. And it's not a Wednesday.
Not Wednesday.
Thursday. These short weeks, right? I know, right? You wake up and you're like, okay, so third day of the week, we're at Wednesday. Nope. Yeah. We are on the day before Friday, almost there.
That is what a holiday on Monday does to you.
Yeah, less time to do more work. That's what it is.
That's true.
Closer to Saturday. But it does mean that you have one less day. You got to wake up early. So we do hope that you're up and you're getting ready. The weather looks a little bit funny, but I know we are expecting some changes as the weekend gets closer.
It's hot outside.
I'm so glad that we're indoors this time. Yesterday was beautiful.
It was a good day.
Yeah. I mean, it felt like the perfect key weather. We were near the sea, of course.
Yes. You and John did yoga by the seaside.
Yeah. That's definitely how you should do it all the time. Just, be with the wind and the sea. It was nice.
Yeah, it looked like it was good. It looked like it was peaceful. You guys were doing the breaths and I think I was doing it with you, just like
you probably were. Yeah, that's what happens because they talk you through it, and then halfway through, I'm like, oh yes, I'm working. Get back conscious.
But that's how you know it's working because that's what you're supposed to do with yoga, right?
Yeah.
Make your mind go up.
Yeah, but of course, there's a lot happening. And yesterday we saw quite a bit in the newscast. We're still looking at a situation of violent crime in the city. It's not our favorite topic to talk about. I think it's one of those things that, it's interesting, April, because I think people very often feel fatigued of hearing the news, but the problem is this is our reality.
Yeah.
What I do appreciate, though, if we move from just the crimes itself that happens is the commissioner speaking out once again that he will not negotiate with gang members.
Yeah, it's a different point of view that we're seeing. For the past few years, we've always had to deal with them and compromise with them, and this is a new route, but also the change in the East Division chief. Howell Gillett is coming back from Belmopan, and Suzette Anderson is being relocated to Belmopan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not in any kind of disrespect to her and her work, but it's just we're trying to bring somebody that they believe is going to be a little bit stronger in that division.
Yeah, and the issue is, and we've said it so many times right here on the show, and even in interviews with the commissioner. It's easy to place blame. Yeah. It's easy to say it's the police's fault. It's easy to say it's the gang's fault, and they probably take the most responsibility because they're carrying out the act. But it is a societal problem, and I always go back to the same thing about what is our strategy to tackle crime. In my mind, it should definitely be more than intervention or incarceration. We have to look at some of the preventative measures. And how you keep on enforcing safety for people who are living in these areas and in the wider community.
I actually have a very different take on that, and I agree with you. But also, I feel that you make opportunities for the people in your society, not just rehabilitation opportunities, but if you create a space that will, give them a job, give them something to be a productive member of society. You take them out of a system that will initially make them become better people from the very beginning. You were not going to have these problems. Take out that person from a different setting of crime, violence. They feel like they have to live that life in order to survive, and you put them in a setting where they know that they can be somebody productive. you're not going to have this problem.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the point of looking at addressing the social issues that exist, poverty, unemployment, lack of support for family structures. You know, when we talk about this, the collaboration between different ministries, that's why it's important. It goes back to things like human development. It goes back to things like housing and even infrastructure. You know, and the pilot project when it comes to the Ministry of Education on the South Side is one that can definitely, if it works and if they're able to keep people in school, can have a great effect on mitigating crime. But that's not going to happen right now.
Yeah.
And that's going to take, I imagine, a continuous rethink of their strategies. But the point is, you know, how do you get jobs that are lucrative for people when they've found alternatives that are quote unquote easier for them?
Yeah, I agree, but I feel like if everybody like that taught like that in society, we would all turn to a life of of crime. But also, you said it right there. You hit the nail on the head with the structures of society, but also the structure of government. I feel that we often divide ourselves according to ministry or department or service, when I feel like they should all be working collectively as a unit. The Ministry of Education shouldn't just be focusing on, you know, strategizing a curriculum, right? They should also be showing how they could make recreational activities for students in all areas, and that would be working alongside with the Ministry of Housing and Development, along with the Ministry of Tourism to create jobs, right? So it all comes back full circle to, it's not each ministry is responsible for one thing. They should all be responsible for all things collectively.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, I think in fairness, there are collaborations that take place. But let's bring it back to what we're seeing today. The situation of crime in the country is not new. And, you know, I know everybody was looking at the change in curfew to see if, and they want to use that as triggers. Like, we look for reasons to say, oh, this is why there's an increase in crime. No, this has been the situation. We've been battling this issue for a very long time. I just often wonder whether or not there's a stop to rethink that whatever we've been doing maybe has worked in some areas, but not offering the type of results that we actually want. And how do we re-strategize? Yeah. And there are different layers. It's preventing people entering criminal activity. It's reducing the number of people who execute the actions, whether it's a shooting or if actually leads to a murder. And then also ensuring that those who do perpetrate the crimes do face consequences. Because if you know you're going to get away with it, anyway. You'll be very dismissive of facing consequences. Or if you feel like you're going to get away with it.
I mean, our ratings have not been all that great, but also I absolutely agree with you, and you know me, I always feel like everybody needs a cultural consultant. Not because, you know, culture, but if you know the people, if you understand the community, you'll be able to get a hold of what to do. You find solutions to the problem. You can't implement one strategy for all places. It's not going to work that way. That's the people are different. People conform to different things. And I've said this so many times, we have minimal resources, not just, you know, guns or not just car patrols and so forth, but we also have limited resources in man. We don't have the number of people to help a situation. We are a small population, but that also means that we have less people that are working in law enforcement.
Yeah. So, you know, that's one of the continuous issues that we face, and you know, it's unfortunate that we are seeing these activities start to spike again. You know, there was a story done once by one of our, and this was a few years back. It was a child reporter. We were working with the NCFC at the time, and they did a story about what it was like being a child living in an area that crime was prevalent. And I can never forget, there was a little girl who was probably in about standard 6. And when she spoke of how after a certain hour, she no longer goes outside of her house and she stays indoors. and that she and her mother, because she lived with her mom, actually, dove under the bed and had specific spots that they go if they hear gunshots, because they didn't want, if it came into the house, they wanted to be safe. And this is the reality of what these communities face. And that's not people who are involved in crime. It's just where they live, and that's become a part of the reality. So you have those who are involved, the children who've lost fathers, uncles, brothers, dads, and then you have people who are simply living within these circumstances with extreme trauma. That's like living in a war zone. Yeah. We're looking at Ukraine, and we feel this great level of empathy, and we should, for what's happening there. But let's not forget, there are war zones right here in our country. Yeah,
and we're not taking care of our people. Yeah. That's the reality right there. We're not taking care of our people, and it comes back full circle to the very first thing that you said. We expect that we put the blame on law enforcement, or we put the blame on gang members and so forth. But the truth of the matter is it's all of our business to try and figure out solutions. And that right there, what you're talking about, is not a solution. We often call 911 to fix every single discrepancy. We try to call 911 to fix every single problem. And certain things are not the police's problem. That takes me back to the young man that they shot with the rubber bullets. Mm-hmm. That wasn't a police matter. That was supposed to be somebody to be placed in psychiatric care. Yeah. But what are we going to do? We need the manpower. That's what we do. We need people for graduates with degrees that will help fix society. That's what I keep saying.
All right, there we go.
Help us.
But of course, other things, we saw the Prime Minister in Taiwan. Really interesting to watch that ceremony. Did you catch it?
Yeah, I did catch a snippet of it.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe that it was his first trip there as the Prime Minister. And I think that they made mention of Belize being one of the 4 only countries remaining in Latin America that is a diplomatic ally to the Republic of China, Taiwan. Mm-hmm. And we're trying our best to keep those close relationships, right? I think that for the most part, Taiwan and Belize have had about 30 years of diplomatic relations. And we have several, I can't give you the number because I lost count, but we have a lot of Belizeans that are in Taiwan on scholarship, working, living their lives, and contributing to that society, as well as we have a good number of Taiwanese in Belize doing the exact same thing. Yeah. So it is that wonderful cultural exchange and relationship that we see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you have it. And of course, Prime Minister Briceño was conferred with a honorary doctorate.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I like it. I really believe that Taiwan is a good influence. It's a good, what's the word I'm looking for? There's somebody to look up to in terms of how we can be as a small country trying to progress with our society. They help us to uplift certain things, and I always feel that Taiwan is always readily available to help Belize in whatever we need. There's so many funding that they provide for NGOs, small businesses, organizations, schools. So we do have that relationship with Taiwan on all levels.
Yeah, and on a positive note, yesterday I had the opportunity, for the past 2 days, there is a very unique program that's being rolled out, and it's between the U.S. Embassy in Belize and U.S. Embassy in Trinidad and Tobago. Yes. And it's called Fact Check. So there are about 50 young people who applied to participate in this program from both Trinidad and Belize, and they were selected to essentially go through a training where they learn about the situation of fake news and how to learn to verify it and navigate all the information that they're bombarded with. And it was really interesting, April, because clearly hearing from the other side of the Caribbean that they're facing similar challenges that everywhere else we're facing. You have access to so much information, and we don't necessarily have the filters to be able to decipher what's truth from what's false. And it was so interesting because this weekend my niece was telling me about her assignment where she's learning to decipher fact from fiction. So there is some of it that takes place in the school, but we need to apply that to the digital world as well. And paying attention to kind of the young people, the demographics who chose to participate. You were talking about journalism students, you were talking about people who are already working in communications, who wanted some help in Belize. You know, what I really loved is that some of them were teachers because they wanted to learn the skills so that they can teach their children in the classroom. And it's a great initiative, I think, to be able to help it's a foundational skill that we need.
It's very true. I often believe that history is written by the person with the pen, right? The pen is as mighty as the sword. And we often forget that there's so much subjectivity, there's so much my opinion in facts, which is not necessarily a fact. And when we take it out there is so much power in the media. When we take it out there, people treat it as gospel. So people that are in communications, people that are in journalism, it's very important for them to get the information accurate because they are speaking to the larger audience who really wants to know what's happening. And if you get that information wrong, you can hurt or damage.
Oh, absolutely.
A society or a person.
Absolutely. You know? And I think, that's part of the issue, but the bigger concern is when there is no filter. When you just go online and you find any information that you want, and we have, these unconscious biases that we just look for information that validates us. We've seen that more in the pandemic than anything else.
I mean, algorithms are scary. If you Google something so much every single day, you are going to get links and information that are going to tell you your opinion is correct. And you're going to take those, you're going to reference it, you're going to put it on social media, and then you're going to also convince other people that is.
And connect with other people who share that thought. So you build a community sometimes around misinformation.
I mean, that is how Q was invented, right? QAnon.
Yeah, and several other. So it was really, they just got started and they have quite a few more sessions to go, but it was really interesting. And I'm encouraged by the demographic of the young people and their participation.
Congratulations on being the guest speaker, by the way.
Well, I don't know about congratulations, but I worked with young people and youth advocacy before I came into the media. And I think I told them this is kind of a sweet spot in between, and it's not all media driven because they shared, some of the really interesting things was everybody's battling the same thing. You have to convince granny or mommy that what they get in WhatsApp or what they see on YouTube isn't true. And what do you do then, and how do you do that? And so it's not just about focusing on the proliferation of false news, but how do you even distinguish? There are pages that are set up online here in Belize that people call news, but they're not really news. They're not licensed the way media houses are. They're not governed under the Broadcasting Act. And so, when you're only left with Facebook policies as your one, regulations or regulator, we've seen how there's not enough protection mechanisms on Facebook.
For those. Everything that you just listed, people don't know how to search for those. I always tell my students, look for the author and search. The author who is qualified to be writing the information that you're reading. But most of the time people don't do it. They will see that it has an author, it has a date, and that's enough. Or all rights reserved to
or it was on the internet.
Or it was on the internet. I saw it on Facebook. My friend said it's true, therefore it must be.
Or it looks, deepfakes are scary. It looks real, and it can look very real, but how do you verify it? And that's the critical thinking skills that they're hoping to develop, how to be able to question, what questions to ask, to verify the information that they come in contact with.
What are the age ranges?
So they're working with a youth population, so it's late teens to young adults.
Okay. Nice. I hope that they get all that they need from it.
I hope it's a momentum, and that's what I told them. I hope it's the start, and then it can become like a training of trainers and moves from there. Because what we face in the Caribbean is very similar to what we see in other parts of the world. We just don't talk about it as much.
Yeah, and it's a little bit ironic that you say it, because when it comes to like the CARICOM Summit and all things cultural, we feel so connected through those mediums, but when we talk about the social issues, we don't address those similarities as much.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we got to get moving into our show
Yeah.
for today.
Yes.
And let's shift gears to some positive motivation to get you going. And that means it's time for Eye Opener. And our Eye Opener, taken from dailyom.com, goes like this. Being present lets us experience each moment in our lives in a way that cannot be fully lived through memory or fantasy. It can be easy for us to walk through the world and our lives without really being present. While dwelling on the past and living for the future are common pastimes, it is physically impossible to live anywhere but the present moment. We cannot step out our front door and take a left turn to May of last year any more than we can take a right turn to December 2025. Nevertheless, we can easily miss the future we're waiting for as it becomes the now we are too busy to pay attention to. When we begin to corral our attention into the present moment, it can be almost overwhelming to be here. Being present requires that we be flexible, creative, attentive, and spontaneous. Each present moment is completely new, and nothing like it has happened or will ever happen again. As you move through your day, remember to stay present in each moment. In doing so, you will live your life without having to wait for the future or yearn for the past. Life happens to us when we happen to live in the now.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of whenever we take a trip or whenever we go somewhere new and we see something beautiful or we see a moment that we don't think is going to ever happen to us again, and the first thing we do is we take out our phone. Right? We take out our phone and we take a picture because we want to let it last forever. But when you're taking that picture or when you're taking that video, you're not really paying attention to the moment. You're paying attention to, I have to make sure that the camera level, I have to make sure that the picture is real, I have to make sure that it's no blur. And you lose that one moment because you're trying to capture it you're trying to capture that memory.
Yeah.
Right?
I always watch that. Like, have you ever been at a restaurant or even at a party and you're looking at the happy birthday and the person's in front of the cake and you look around, everybody is taking a photo.
Yeah.
Everybody is videoing or, and I just genuinely believe you miss so much when you're not connecting directly with the person themselves. But beyond that though, and I think, how many of us woke up this morning thinking of yesterday? How many of us woke up thinking of what went wrong last week or last month and still dwelling on it? Yeah. How many of us are dreading what may come up this weekend or next week? Or not even dreading, but just building ourselves up about what is to come. And we lose sight of the fact that there is this entire day ahead of us, this next minute, this next hour, this next day that we get to experience. And being present is hard. We talk all about this mindfulness stuff, but that's why it's important, because we really have a challenge in trying to just stay in the moment of right now.
I think that kind of goes back and connects to the fact that we tend to put a lot of pressure on working hard, or we can put a lot of pressure on making sure that everything goes right. And so, like you rightfully mentioned, if we don't believe that things are going the way we plan in our heads, we're going to dwell on the things that went wrong. We're going to dwell on the things that could go wrong. We're going to dwell on the things that we dread. Right? Like,
what's a great example? I always remember reading it once. Sundays, right? How many of us wake up on Sunday dreading Monday? Right? So you miss your entire last day for the weekend to rest because you're just thinking, oh, I have to go back to work tomorrow, I have to go back to work. So you spend your day in misery thinking of the day ahead.
My brother wakes up early on weekends. He wakes up at around 5 or 6 on weekends because he needs to make sure that he takes his entire 48 hours.
There you go.
Weekend.
He's living.
But
he's done some mindfulness practice.
Right, but in my mind, like, I want to sleep.
That's for you and your brother to sort out.
I want to rest, but I get that. I get that you want it because every other day you're going to be working. Every other day you're going to have to be thinking about getting through your task, right? Those 2 days are the only 2 days where you don't have to think about anything.
Yeah.
And if you're a kid, of course, you don't have to think about anything.
Oh yeah, that's very common for kids. They wake up late they wake up late during the week and early on weekends. They got it figured out.
Yeah, they do.
All right, we're going to keep things moving, and we are going to find out about our weather for today. We have our update from forecaster Angelia Guy.
Good morning. Fair, warm, and mostly dry weather prevails. The 24-hour forecast is for skies to be mostly sunny today and clear to partly cloudy tonight. No rain is expected except for the chance of isolated showers or an isolated thunderstorm developing near the western border this afternoon. High temperatures today will reach near 88 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 94 inland, and 84 in the hills. Low temperatures tonight will range from a warm 80 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 73 inland, and 66 in the hills. Winds over the open sea will blow from the east and southeast at 10 to 20 knots, and sea conditions will be moderate. Low tide will occur at 8:41 this morning, followed by high tide at 2 minutes to 3 this afternoon. The sun rises at 4 minutes after 6 this morning and will set at a minute past 6 this evening. The moon will rise at 11:34 this morning and will set at 12 minutes after 1 tomorrow morning. The outlook for Friday and Friday nights is for fair, warm, and mostly dry weather conditions. No rain is expected. In this week's sargassum update, latest observations show an increase in sargassum over the area. As a result, there is a medium to high chance of more sargassum affecting beaches across the country. In the fire risk forecast, the risk for brush or forest fires will remain high during the next 24 to 48 hours as fair, warm, and mostly dry weather conditions prevail. And that ends this morning's weather report and forecast from the National Meteorological Service.
Nice.
There you have it, mostly sunny.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I don't know your kind of weather, but I enjoy the sun. I enjoy the heat. I rather the heat any day over the cold. I don't
Really?
know. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't like the layers.
I love both. I love both, but it is going to be a beautiful day, so do take advantage.
Yes.
With that, though, we're going to get moving into our show.
Awesome. Yes, we have a great lineup today. I'm very excited for today's discussion. Our first discussion is going to be with 4 very resilient women, I believe. We're going to be having a panel discussion with intergenerational women on the perceived roles of women in society. Now, I'm very excited about that. It's going to be 4 women, 2 in Zoom, 2 via studio, and Marlene and myself. It's going to be a great discussion.
Yeah, all right. And the second part of the show, World Kidney Day, is coming up. So we're going to have a representative from the Kidney Association of Belize. As we know, there are quite a number of people who struggle with chronic kidney disease and require dialysis. And so we're going to hear from a dialysis patient as well about how it's been going and some of the challenges that they experience, and most importantly, how to take care of your kidneys.
And continuing on with our Women's Month, I feel like it's all women today. It is, oh my goodness. Our final discussion is going to be the Resilient Girls Club. They're going to be here in studio talking to us about how to recruit young females to their club. And
I love that. I love the name alone, right?
Yes.
Okay, and we got a lot of shout outs this morning, so bear with us. So we got some birthday greetings to start us off. First off, we are saying happy birthday to
Brianna Bennett and George Marin the third. Oh wait, there is Brianna Bennett. Happy birthday, Brianna Bennett, and happy birthday, George Marin the third. And another birthday shout out goes to Alexandria Young. Happy
10 years
birthday,
old
10 years
today.
old.
Okay.
We have beautiful kids' birthdays today.
I know.
Happy birthday to all three of you. We hope you have a wonderful day today from all of us here at Channel 5.
And then we have an anniversary shout out. We don't normally do those, but we'll make an exception because this is our colleague here at Channel 5, George Tillett, who just celebrated his birthday, now celebrating, his wife just celebrated her birthday, but they're celebrating 31 years of marriage. George and Dorette Tillett. Congratulations,
happy
guys,
anniversary.
and happy anniversary.
Aww.
You're lovely.
It's a lovely 31 years.
Yeah.
What is that?
With that, we'll leave you to ponder that for a bit, and I'll sit you down with George so you can talk about long-term marriage. But we got to take a break, and when we come back, it is Women's Month, and we have a group of women that we're going to be discussing a women's role in society. So stay tuned.
Hola usuario de eCash, la aplicación eCash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma de tu aplicación de eCash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Déjame mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación eCash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. Selecciona Security. Selecciona Language. Y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de eCash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital eCash. La aplicación eCash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
We have been a partner with Smart for over 10 plus years. We have a full Smart plan we use as our major driver for our business. We have a service that rolls over in that if you call one and it is busy, it rolls over to the next line. So once you call us, you can get us at any time. Before we got this Smart service, we were paying upwards of nearly $2,000 in phone bills. Since we've had our Smart service, we pay an average of about $600. So we've had tremendous saving, more than 50%. For the businesses, if you want to save money, switch to Smart because it is far more cost effective and the service is excellent.
Smart continues to be innovative in bringing new technology and meaningful savings during these challenging times to businesses across Belize. Sign up for our VoIP technology or broadband packages and save more.
Applying for a Social Security sickness benefit? Here's what you need to know. A complete claims package includes 1. Sickness claim form fully completed by the claimant and medical doctor. 2. Salaries record form completed by the employer or HR representative. 3. Proof of bank account such as bank book, online banking, or statement displaying your name and account number. To submit via email, you need to take a clear photo or scan of the documents and email to claims@socialsecurity.org.bz. Be sure to include your full name, social security number, and benefit type in the subject line of the email. Or you can drop off all completed forms into the Dropbox slot at the nearest branch office. Deadline to submit is 14 days from your first day of illness. All forms are available on the website at www.socialsecurity.org.bz. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
If you're looking for low-cost television advertising, have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind-the-scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Been drinking all night, feeling so high, better not drive, won't even try.
Been drinking all night, feeling so high, better not drive, ain't gonna try. Been drinking all night, feeling so high, better not drive, ain't gonna try. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. People die every day, I'm not going with ya. I'ma find my own way, I'm not going with ya. It's okay, I'll wait. Even good people make mistakes. I don't wanna realize when it's too late. Drinking and driving is never safe. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. If you're drinking and driving, I'm not going with ya. Been drinking all night, feeling so high, better not drive, ain't gonna try. Been drinking all night, feeling so high, better not drive, ain't gonna try.
And we are back. We have our panel discussion this morning with our intergenerational women who are here to talk to us about the perceived roles of women in society. In studio, we have with us Mala Vasquez, who is a beverage consultant, and Parveen Williams, who is the general manager. And joining us in Zoom, we have Janelle Fraser, who is the CARICOM Youth Ambassador, and Sana Roland. Am I saying that right? Sana?
It's Sana.
Sana Roland, who is a fourth form student at St. Catherine's Academy. Welcome, ladies. Good morning.
Good morning.
Woo. I'm excited. So this is a free-for-all discussion. What do we want to talk about?
I want to start with a bit of focus, because
Okay.
I think that, you know, when we talk about Women's Month, and we were joking about it before we got started, right?
Yeah.
Everybody goes, and the idea of perceived roles of women is one that has changed a lot over time. So let me just start with that. What do you view as the expected role for women in society today? Let's start with you, Mana. Let's stir the pot a bit.
Being the oldest in this crowd.
How about that? You're the
one
youngest.
with the most experience.
You are the youngest at heart here, and we know that.
And I think I am more liberal than most in my age group. I have 2 daughters, so one in their late 30s and one that just turned 40. And I see the differences already. And I am at Madisco, and my family at Madisco has women who are in their early 20s into their mid 50s, and the roles and the way I see them, they change. They've changed so much. And I just think that women, being a good person is not based on gender, it's gender neutral. What your morals are has nothing to do with your body parts. You know, so being a woman, it doesn't mean, oh, because you're a woman, you have to have morals. Hey, morals are for everybody. So that, let's just cut that out of the conversation, because being a good person has nothing to do with being a man or a woman. And I think if you believe in yourself, of course it comes from good parenting, but you have children who have been raised in foster homes who don't have care from a parent per se. You have the society that does that for you. It takes a village to raise a child. So I think all in all, it's just teaching and pointing out without being accusing, without accusing anybody, hey, don't do that, you know. I think it's in how you say it rather than what you say.
Well, let's go to Sana now as a young woman and going to an all-girls school as well. So Sana, let's get your perspective.
Good morning again, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. But I share, to be quite honest, I share the same views as Ms. Vasquez. Being the youngest here, seeing that I share the same views, it's quite a privilege, but I honestly also believe, like, for myself as a young woman, because I don't have children or anything like that yet, I believe that the role of a woman in society is as much as anything a man can do, and I believe that a female can do anything a male can do and more, because we can have children and stuff like that. So I just agree with what Ms. Vasquez said.
Parveen, you laughed at and can have children, right? You chime in here.
That's the one thing they can do. I think women have always held a power position. I mean, if we look at the role in the home, we look at the role in organizations, they've always maybe not been at the forefront, but they've always held a power position. You think about a home without a mom to do, you know, the daily duties and so on. And then there's always the argument of what is more difficult. Is it more difficult to run a home, or is it more challenging to run a business? Some people have differing opinions on that. But I think they've always held a power position, and we spoke about it earlier when we were outside, but it's not really about bashing men, because men have a very important role to play as well. But it's just looking at women and the important role that they play. And I think power positions are all over. They could be, I mean, you see the roles change so often. Women doing things that, if you look at it 10, 20 years ago, they weren't doing it then. So it's changed, but still I think very important, and a conversation that needs to be had. I personally, I feel that when we talk about Women's Month, or we talk about the role of women in society, and we talk about the things that we've been doing for the past 20, 30 years, and you know, the differences and the role that we play. And that's why I asked, what does that even mean?
Right.
Because as Ms. Vasquez rightfully pointed out, just like how morals are across all genders, everybody has a role to play. So
Right.
what is the significance, or what makes it, I don't know, the challenge, or the competition, I should say, between men and women? Because as somebody that has studied history and read history in all our years, women have been in politics, women have been caretakers, women have been scientists. The difference is that women have been shut off by society and played those roles as hidden figures.
Yes.
Right? Now we are up in the forefront and showing off that we're able to have those skills.
Very much in the forefront
so
now.
much. And I think the role of women, I think women on the whole, we inspire. We are there as the inspiration. I mean, for me, when I see my kids come and they've had such a rough day, and I go like, honey, the day is over. When you have my grandchildren says, Mom, I'm so tired, Nani. They call me Nani, and I go like, honey, the day is over. The weekend's coming really soon. But even with your partner, be it a man or a woman or whatever, the idea is to be the inspiration, to be the person that somebody can lean on. Because you know what? Even we women, as strong as we may be, we cannot do it alone. So that's the thing, what Pareen and myself was saying outside. The idea is we don't stand alone. We stand along with somebody. But make no mistake, we can be alone.
Yep.
So that is the difference. I mean, to be the inspiration, to give guidance, and support, but also to make sure to tell people, hey, I don't want to be alone. Nobody wants to be alone. You know?
That's true.
So we have Janelli here, ready to chime in. Go ahead, Janelli.
Well, you know, my question here is, why do we have rules? What is expected of us with those rules? And then I think back and I think that rules definitely stem from childhood. What are we teaching our children? And I was actually having this conversation last night with a friend of mine where we expect our male children and our female children to play with different toys. And I often wonder, why are we doing that? Why do we expect our children to wear a color? When you go to a baby shower, if you don't know the sex of the child, we buy white clothes or cream because it's neutral. But why can't children wear pink why can't a boy wear pink? Why can't a female wear blue? And this is what we're instilling in our children. There's specific roles, and I think we need to part ways from that expectation or perception of how children should grow up and then be in society.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that 100%.
Well, yeah, and I think that's part of the gender roles that we want to dive into. You know, we were talking about the balancing, the fact that women can have children, but let's look at reality today. And the COVID-19 pandemic was is a particularly stressful time for women. Why? Because women are now working, and they still are the primary caretakers of the children in the household. So I met, and I know we had therapists on, we had people on talking constantly about women just being incredibly overwhelmed, being mother, teacher, and a professional woman all at the same time. And it didn't balance out. It was one of the times that you could genuinely see the imbalance between gender expectations within a family. So let's talk about that, because the sharing of the role of parenting is one that, while there may be a shift in the tide, we definitely have a long way to go.
Right.
Yeah, jump in there.
But there's been some changes already, though.
Yes.
Because traditionally, women were the primary caregivers.
Yes.
But you've seen that change. In my home, my spouse has his role that he plays along with our children and so on. So I think that has changed. If you look at our parents or grandparents and so on, where it's the woman who does everything, that has definitely changed. Agreed, we still have some ways to go, but I think we've made good progress. And it's important for us to make sure we continue along that path, because then that's what we're influencing our daughters to do and what they see at home.
I definitely agree with that, but I also feel that yes, we educate our daughters, but we have to educate our sons.
Boys.
Of course.
Right? Because the expectation of gender roles comes from that high degree of that machismo, male perception of what a woman should do versus what a man should do. And if we don't educate our sons to talk about it the same way that we're talking about, that cycle will continue.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's where we have our operation manager at work, and Carlo, he wears a pink Lasco shirt, and I go like, Carlo, I love it.
Yeah, pink is
real men wear
pink.
But you know, colors, I think it's society. You're right. Society has kind of made us do the things that we do today. How do we change it? It has to start from your home, and there's got to be a mind shift. A mind shift that you really have to do this. But you have parents, you have guys who'll say, I know to wear that.
Yeah.
That a color for a gal. So it's ignorance actually more than anything else. And this is where the woman's role comes in. She will nurture, she will inspire, she will guide and say, hey, you can do it. Look, Rome wasn't created in a day. This will take time. So let them wear from pink, let them wear like light yellow stuff. Let them wear melon colors. But it will have to come gradually, and we have to do it constantly, all the time, and say, hey, I don't think so. How about doing this? And persist. Persist, because we shouldn't give up. You know, you say, no, I want him to wear that. And let him be comfortable in his own skin. Hey, I got a grandson. He'll play with my granddaughter's toys. He has his stuff. There's nothing wrong with it.
I'm so glad. That was the thought that was going through my head. That we have to deconstruct what we have been taught. So how do we feel when we see a little boy playing with a doll? Or if he chooses to, not because it's around, but he chooses to play with a doll. Why is that a bad thing?
Again, I think it depends on the host.
No, I know it's not, but I'm saying that this is where we deconstruct. Go ahead, Janelle.
No, I was saying that it's not a bad thing. And it's important to have conversations about these, whereby if you invite friends into your home and they see this type of interaction with children and toys, you explain to them, this is why I'm doing this, because I don't expect my son or my daughter to be a certain way. I want him or her to be happy with herself and her choices. So we definitely have to have conversations about it.
It stems back to the gender role conversation where we talk about how you raise your daughters versus how you raise your sons. And you often have this thing where I want to raise my daughter strong, right? And well, that's how I was raised. You know, I want to raise a strong daughter, so I will instill in her that she can do anything a man can do. She could change her tire, she could change her oil, she don't have to worry about and rely on anybody. But also, I don't want to teach my son how to cook and clean. So the biases that come with gender role and how we raise our females versus how we raise our males, I think there's a long way to go on what is the right way, how we can fix certain mentalities, how we're able to provide equity, not equality.
That's right.
Equity. And be able to live in a peaceful society, which I feel is utopia.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jelly.
Trying to say, I think it also starts with ourselves, because if we continuously wait on people to change their mentality, to have an open mind, it will never ever happen. So for example, myself, I don't have a child as yet, but if ever I have a child, it is my responsibility, my job to teach my child to be very open with whoever he or she may be. And if I have a son, I don't see a problem with my son playing with a toy oven, because again, we have to switch the roles. I always speak about this, where we give our young children or young girls dolls, because we're telling them that they have to be the nurturer. They are responsible to take care of children, and then we wonder why when men or these young boys get older and turn into men, they don't have a sense of responsibility to care for children. But this is what we're teaching them from a very, very young age. So we really have to change their perception of how the world is viewed.
I want to bring Sana into the conversation. Is this a conversation that you have with your friends at school?
To be quite honest, yes, it is a conversation that we have at school, because as students at an all-girls school, we honestly believe that the roles can be shared, and there's not like a specific role for a female or a male. So SA pushes us to like be independent and stuff like that. So if we want to go in politics or have a job that we won't really have time to take care of our children, we expect our man to like pick up where we slack off sometimes. So that's definitely a conversation that we have at school.
So what frustrates you and your friends about society today when it comes to the roles of women?
To be quite honest, what frustrates us is that we think a certain way, but the people that are coming up after us and before us, they think different from us. And I say this because many of us at SCA might want to go in a career field that we won't have time to like care for children and stuff like that. And people would bring us down for that, because they expect us to be like, oh, you're preparing to eventually have a child and take care of that child and have all your time for that child. And we're like, no, we can do other things. We can have jobs that occupy our time.
Yeah. Well, I love that you said that, because I feel that that's the missing element in the conversation. We raise children, we try to practice a way of living where we can see ourselves as capable, as competent, but we are still very much living in a patriarchal society. And so while the tide may be shifting, it hasn't shifted yet.
Not fully.
And we have seen that even as we talk about the leaders of our country. I mean, there is currently a leadership race, and I am amazed that we're still having the level of conversation about
first female mayor, first female
not first, but what we look at for required skill sets for a woman versus all we have allowed from men. We are still there. And so my question is, in fitting in, while we try to expand our mind and we have Women's Day, Women's Month, and all these other empowering movements that are necessary and good, we still have to maneuver in a world that doesn't quite accept it as yet. Let me get your experience there. Mala, all kinds of stories coming back, true?
I come from a multi-generational home. Being Indian, I grew up with grandparents, parents. I lived in a joint family where my mother's sister was married to my father's brother. And along with that, so the multi-generational effect was there predominantly growing up. And then, of course, I had my grandparents. And so you learn, you were forced to kind of know your place as a woman. And remember, we grew up in the East, so our traditions were different. So at age 17, being the youngest amongst my siblings, I came to Belize because my father said, hey, you're not getting married yet. I'm the woman. I'm the youngest in my family, joint family of 8. I came to Belize, at age 18, because I was not of marriageable age, because my marriage would have been arranged. I came, and wow, did I shock my parents. I was the liberal amongst the most liberal, the first Indian who broke tradition, got married outside not only of my community, but outside of my caste, religion, tradition, everything. So the idea now is, why did I do that? Because looking back, I didn't want at age, so the young girls of today, they're looking at what their parents are doing and their grandparents are doing, and they're rebelling. And they're looking at the world today, look at TV, look at social media, look at the effect of the whole IT world. Look at the games you're playing now. Look at our kids now. I think they're born with a remote in their head. They know how to operate this thing. So we cannot be locked in tradition. That we gotta have, likewise, a code that just breaks this, because I am tired of having people say, oh, you're a woman, you know your place, and I go like, excuse me? And why is there always...
Or you women wouldn't understand.
And I'll tell you what, women themselves are our greatest hurdle that we need to cross over. Because men stick together all the time. You will not see, although they're the biggest gossips or whatever.
Oh, they got it. They got each other back.
But women tend to bring down other women, and this is what I don't understand. Where are we coming from? And the thing is, we have to let our children be guided. Don't change their path. Because as a grandparent now, I know what I did to my parents. I really broke their heart. And if I could turn back the hands of time, I would do things a little differently and not do what I did. So I'm very conscious in my head as to how I need to rectify this situation with my children, with my grandchildren. And I think parents, grandparents should be the ones who say, you know what? I need to guide my children. I should not control them. I just need to make sure that their morals are in the right place. Teach them right from wrong. But to tell them how to lead their lives, absolutely not. We live in a different world. We need to understand our role, that it is their time. We need to step back and guide them. Just like our young kids today, our young school graduates, they have different views. They have different things they want to do. Why should they have children? If they don't want to have children, they want to have a career, who are we to tell them otherwise?
And I think that comes back to the... I think guide is an important word though, because I mean, I think all of us will agree that our tradition, the way we grew up, has a role to play in who we are today. I grew up with 4 brothers, no sisters, so you know, I get this stigma, oh, she's the queen, she gets treated. Actually, it's quite the contrary. But I wouldn't exchange it for anything, because growing up with 4 brothers and parents who were very strong and educated, I think is halfway responsible for where I am today. So that has a role to play. Your home life, your traditions, your values has a huge role to play in your success or whatever path you choose in your life. I think that's so important. And it's not about, you know, we asked that question, like, what is traditionally women? Like, that has changed. Absolutely. It is not what it used to be anymore. You know? So I think it's that has a place. In every, the grandparents, like you said, that influence and so on, that all has a place and an influence in who you are.
Janelle, tell us your thoughts there.
So there's a couple things, you know, in my mind, but Miss Mala touched on one of them where, because I wanted to play devil's advocate, And I wanted to say that women are responsible for how we are viewed as well, because as she mentioned, we are our own enemies. You find that sometimes women are looking at you side-eyed if you take time for yourself. For example, a new mother, she's overwhelmed with all of these emotions. She's stressed, everything is new to her, and she decides that, okay, so today I am going out with my friends and I'm going to have fun. And we as women will look at her and say, you're very irresponsible. You just had a child. Why are you out there? Your child needs you. And they create, they make you feel guilty for choosing yourself, one. And for being a woman, you are able to go out, you're able to have fun. Why is it that men, again, can go out and they don't take responsibility? But the women, when we do the same, it's a problem, and it's the same women who criticize us and condemn us. So it's quite confusing, and I don't understand why we do it to ourselves. But I hope that we look within ourselves and we want to see how we want to be viewed as women, and based on that feelings, we treat people the same.
Yeah. You know, there's a bit of, I've called it, at least these are just my words, it's a bit of a scarcity mentality.
Right.
Women seeing other women get ahead, that naturally there's just I don't know if it's instinct or just how we've been socialized, that it's attack. And what you mentioned, I think, is the critical point. While we have to work on ourselves, meanwhile, the brotherhood is intact.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
It is. The sisterhood is trying to figure out its way forward, but the brotherhood, they were never broken.
Nope.
And so we become our own worst enemy.
We're vulnerable.
I think it goes back to the concept of being hidden, because we were isolated. So you, as the woman, you are my wife, you are the caretaker of my child, you stay home. You are isolated from social activity, you are isolated from anything that is social, and then that pressure to be a good caretaker, a good mother, a good nurturer comes with, that is what society seems, even though society is minding its own business, right? But we put that in our own heads. And because we do that to ourselves, we want to make sure that other women are doing the same thing. And even though it's not right, even though it's very much a psychological feeling, we're still dealing with that. We're still dealing with trying to be okay to go out, even though we have kids. We're still trying to be okay with making mistakes at work, because men make mistakes at work all the time. But if we do it, it's pointed out, it's significant, and we have to work 10 times harder to make sure that we don't do it again.
Yeah.
So that pressure that is placed on, we do it to ourselves, and we have created this thing in society where we have to do it to other people. And I don't know how to break it.
You know, my devotion book that I read this morning gave a very good example. And you know, they start to talk about self-care now, and it's so important. Yeah. And that going out and so on, that's self-care.
Yes.
Because that's your time away, and that's your escape from your everyday routine and so on. But it gave an example of when you're on the airplane and the flight attendant asks you if there is an emergency to put on your mask first and then attend to your children or whoever is next to you. It makes sense. You have to take care of yourself first before you're able to take care of anybody else. And it speaks to your children, your husband, you know, your mom, whoever you have to take care of. But that element is still not talked about as much.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not in a good place, if you come home, like Mala said, and you had a bad day, you know, who takes care of you?
Yeah.
So that self-care element is important. And it helps you to get through those challenging times.
All right, I want to get Sanaa back into this conversation. You are our voice of the future. Tell us your thoughts from what you've been hearing so far. What stands out to you? What worries you?
So firstly, I completely agree with what was just mentioned, because I feel like it really starts with ourselves. So if we aren't taking care of ourselves, and we really can't take care of somebody else, because, for example, if my mom had a bad day at work and she comes home and says, I need a break, then she needs to take a break, because if she doesn't take a break, then her the way she feels will be reflected on us, will be reflected on me as her child. And then, you know, people like to say that children are like a reflection of their parents.
That's right.
So if your mom is always tired and frustrated, then you will grow up to be a tired and frustrated child. And then that will be a cycle, and it will continue until we break it. So I think we just have to normalize self-care more and stop putting like a perception and a belief or tradition on how people should behave or how they should live their lives. Because at the end of the day, we are all different. So why should I live my life the same as somebody else that's different from me? We all have our own minds.
Yeah. So when you look forward to your future, which I hope will be in Belize, because you're clearly a young, brilliant mind.
Yes.
Where do you see yourself fitting in? Do you see that society is open to whatever career goals or personal goals you have set for yourself?
Honestly, I don't think society is ready for what I want to do, because whatever, I haven't decided what I want to do yet, but whatever I want to do, I want to do something different, something that isn't normal for a woman to do. So I definitely think that they're up for a battle, because I know a lot of people will be against what I choose to do with my life, because I honestly don't see myself having children, and if I have children, it won't be anytime soon. And you know, it's like, oh, you have to have children before this age. That's another thing. Oh, what is the age to have a child?
I agree, girl. I look forward to seeing the ceilings that you're going to shatter. That's exactly what we work towards.
Promising.
But you know, it becomes a matter of keeping conversations like these going, and also ensuring that, you know, I think it was Michelle Obama who said it. You know, when you reach to a certain point, you look back and you give a hand. And that's where sometimes we forget to do that.
Yes.
We forget that even if you are a trailblazer, you gotta keep other people coming along that way, and that's the only way we represent. But let's come back to another aspect, right? When we talk about, there was a movement a few years back that we shouldn't call little girls bossy. I was fascinated by it.
Bossy?
Bossy, yeah. So, and if we can take a moment to reflect on it. How often do we call little boys bossy?
You're right, we don't.
We don't. We tell them, be leaders, take charge, be strong. But a little girl gets into that playground and say, you're doing this, you're doing this, and you're doing that. She only bossy,
It's the
right?
machismo aspect.
So we teach them from such a young age to shrink themselves, even when they have natural leadership capacities, because it doesn't quite fit with what the world expects. And so we look at things like this, and I still see it today. Very often, if someone, and I never encourage anyone trying to cut down another woman to me, they're too much of something. They're too loud. They're too this. They're too aggressive. They're too assertive, you know? We don't hear these descriptions of the opposite sex. And so, you know, it takes a whole lot of rethinking at times, and even for me, just pausing and being like, okay, you know, what is my expectation of this person? Is it because of and how does gender play a role? But how do we break these thought habits, even with things like bossy?
But I like that you said it, though, because we've seen it time and time again on media and on the news, where if a man has an outburst, oh, he was just frustrated from work, and you know, the pressures of his leadership or no sé qué, right? But if a woman makes an outburst, why is she so angry?
Oh, she probably has PMS.
Yes, she had PMS, or she did something, or too much hormones, and that is why she's so angry.
Or emotional.
You know, I like to follow a lot of international politics, because that's where most women play a role. I think we still have yet for Belizean women to take a role in politics. And I will never forget, when Hillary Clinton was running for president in the United States, and they were interviewing all of these people that were against her presidency. And a woman had said, oh, when a woman gets emotional, she might just get up one day and start a war. How many wars have been started by women in the last few hundred years? I still have yet to figure that out, right? And so it comes full circle to Why is it that we put down women with leadership skills? Go ahead, Marlene.
I wanted to say, even with that campaign, a big indicator, it was a big part of the conversation, was Clinton's likability factor, right? Because that's part of it. You got to be likable.
Yeah.
We don't talk about likability factor for men, but for women, and I'm talking politics, and this was a clear part of her issue with her campaign, her likability factor.
She didn't smile much.
And being attractive plays a big part in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so that's why, going back, women have to like themselves and love themselves.
Yeah. I want to get Janelle in on that, because I know you're here as CARICOM Youth Ambassador, right? But we know you are a former Miss Universe Belize. And that's kind of the conundrum for people. Power and pretty, or being a feminist and still caring about how you look. You know, these things really become conflicting perceptions of what a woman can ascribe to. What's your view?
What's my view? Well, I think I made a clear point when I went to Miss Universe. The outfit that I chose on interview day, which was a very important day, as you may know, I chose to wear a bright neon yellow jacket with a bow tie. And there were mixed emotions, reactions based on my outfit choice, but the reason I chose that is because I wanted to start a conversation about where women fit in to a man's world. You know, we're expected to wear dresses and skirts, and we're expected to be soft and glammed up. But no, I am bold, I am strong, and I can choose what I want to wear. And if I want to wear a bow tie, that's on me, you know. And so I really use that opportunity to say that I am here. And I am all the adjectives, all the traits that you put on men. I can also be that. I'm a strong, assertive woman. I'm here to represent my country. I'm here representing myself and who I am as an individual. And so I really want to encourage people to be more assertive and be proud of who you are. And again, I say that it comes from within. It has to start within. We cannot wait for people to accept who we are as women. We have to be proud, we have to be bold, and we have to stand up for what we want or place within society.
I like that. What do you think about, we were talking about gender roles, right? What do you think about when people try to break the status quo? And I think that's the problem, right? When a woman is assertive and strong, she's bossy, or she's too bossy, she's angry, she's too much, right? Or when a man is sensitive, right? Or when a man is emotional, we also tend to, why he go on suffer? He not a man. He's supposed to be strong. He's not supposed to cry. And so it comes full circle back to the beginning of our conversation, where is it the role of women, or is it just the role of an individual in society that needs to be emphasized?
All right, we'll use this as closing thoughts, right? Because we are so out of time. We'll use this as closing thoughts. So who wants to start off first, right? What's your hope?
Janelle.
My hope within society?
Yes.
My hope, I will always, one of my favorite quotes from a pageant sister is Zose, where she talked about taking up space. You know, I long to see more women literally take up space in every field. It doesn't matter if you're a chef, if you're a hairdresser, a doctor, a lawyer, a politician. I want to see more women taking up space and being confident in who they are. And one of the things I also hope to see is, I think Parveen had mentioned more about self-care, because when you choose to become that strong, assertive individuals, there will be criticisms, and you have to be mentally strong to face those criticisms, or you fall right back into that shell and you become scared and you don't want to express yourself anymore. So you have to develop some kind of strength mentally to say that this is what I want to do and I will do it proudly. So I want to see more young women, and that's why I try every time I speak to women, young teenagers, I try to tell them, you're not dependent on anybody but yourself. So don't depend on a man, don't depend on your mom, your dad, depend on yourself and who you want to be, what you want to project within the society. Miss Mala also mentioned, be a very good person, because how you treat people is exactly how they treat you. So if you want respect, you give respect as well, you understand? So I'm confident that the younger generation, they are changing their perception of how they should be within society. And again, I want to remind people it starts with yourself. So when you have children, teach them to be very open-minded, to be our brothers and sisters keeper, because we are stronger together. Men and women, we are stronger together in solidarity.
She said the younger generation.
Mala?
Yeah.
Well, I just think as women, let us be the inspiration to the rest of the world. We can do it. We are strong and we are women.
One of my favorite quotes is to thine own self be true.
Correct.
I think that's the core. I have a 4-year-old daughter, so that's definitely what I would like to see for her. It starts there and then you build on that.
All right, and we're closing off with the promise for future female leaders, right, Sana?
Yes.
You tell us what.
I would like to leave off with just for women growing up, for the younger generation especially, to be influential, be different, like Ms. Janelle said, to be bold, to escape from the norm. Let me tell you, I have been criticized so many times in my life, and I use that as motivation to continue doing what I'm doing, because if you're not receiving criticism, then obviously you're following the norm. But if you're being criticized, then obviously you're trying to make a change. You're being different, and you're just standing out, and people really don't like when women stand out, and I don't know why. But I'm just going to leave off with this question, like, why do you think from all the way back, like back in the days, why did they pressure us to like shrink ourselves? Why did men tell women that, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that? Why did they choose to be a dictator? I honestly believe it's because they know that we are strong. They know that we can stand alone. They know that we can hold the throne by ourselves. They know that we have power. And I feel like they were afraid of like us becoming powerful, that we didn't really need them.
All right, I think Ms. Mala has decided that we're celebrating as
Yes,
right?
Honestly, what would the world would have been like today if we continued with that tradition, like women being at home? What would have happened when a divorce happened? Like, how would the parent manage to take care of her children if the man isn't there? Like, they expected us to like be dependent on them forever, and it's the fact that women can have jobs nowadays and they can be a single parent and still be holding that throne at home that I admire.
Sana, hit me up after the show. I know, right? We have a conversation to finish.
All right, well, it's lovely to hear from you, and you have left us with the most powerful words and with a renewed hope.
Yes.
So thank you all. And Ms. Mala said she's not used to coming to open your eyes without having wine.
Yes.
So
we are going to leave the world a better place. And today, a new beginning. Women bold and strong. And we are going to leave it with that.
Okay, so we got to take a break. We're way over time, but we got 2 more segments coming up. We're talking about
World Kidney Day.
World Kidney Day after the break. So please stay tuned.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Full-Tech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Full-Tech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Together we can stop the violence by being responsible and respectful partners and fathers in the future.
I will take responsibility to respect women and girls and hold other young men accountable who use hurtful behavior and speech.
Toxic masculinity traits and harmful social norms about how men should behave contributes to gender inequality and violence and fear that women and girls face.
I realize that gender-based violence is a problem that will never end until all boys and men work to end it by resolving conflicts without violence.
We all have a responsibility, and that is why we encourage others to spread this message, to commit to advancing gender equality and to end gender-based violence.
I commit.
I commit.
I commit.
I commit.
I commit
to make changes to end violence in my life
and elsewhere.
Together we can stop the violence.
Staying connected with your loved ones while traveling is even more important during this global pandemic. With Digi, this is even easier and more convenient with our data roaming plans. Postpaid customers have instant access to mobile data when in 41 destinations worldwide. With 3 affordable plans, starting at only $28, it's easy to instantly connect via your favorite digital platform. To purchase your data roaming plan, contact Digi before your travel date. If you are already abroad, you can contact us via email at digihelp@livedigi.com or via WhatsApp at 608-8888. For more information, visit our website at livedigi.com/digicel or visit a Digi store near you. You can roam, stay safe, and stay connected with Digi.
If you're looking for low-cost television advertising, have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
And we're back. We're moving into a second conversation for today. We are talking about World Kidney Day. It's a great time to bring awareness to those who are suffering with kidney disease, on dialysis treatment, and most importantly for the general public, that we need to take care of our kidneys.
Yes.
So we have with us the Vice President of the Kidney Association of Belize, Elizabeth McIntosh, And here with us as well, Anne Sterling, who is a dialysis patient, to tell us a bit about her story. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
Well, it's a pleasure having us here.
Thank you for joining us. And it's always an important time to talk about kidney health, right?
It is.
So, and let's set the Elizabeth, let's set the backdrop for a bit in kind of getting the situation in Belize with kidney disease and those who require dialysis.
Okay. Kidney Association of Belize, it was founded in 2003. You know, I was fortunate enough to work with one of the founders, so I joined the Kidney Association of Belize because in their fight and their objectives, our slogan says, save us today so we can save others tomorrow. I wanted to be a part of that, and I want the entire nation to know about Kidney Association, what we do, how we help our members, what our objectives are. And some of these objectives, like you said, are, well, I learned three main objectives being in the association is educational awareness and prevention of kidney disease. You know, that's our main mission. We try to educate as much as we can. We reach out to schools, to business organizations. We hold raffles, health fairs. We work with the organizations at the health fairs. We try to get everybody educated and those, not only the people who are doing dialysis, we try to reach out to family members, you know, to also, because doing the dialysis, you know as a patient what you will go through, but your family also suffers as well. So we try to reach out and advocate and let everyone know how to protect your kidneys, what are the functions of the kidneys, how to continue living with the kidney disease, and what will happen to you, you know, if you need assistance with dialysis.
Yeah. And when we look at our population, we are very much at risk for kidney disease given the growing number of people who are diabetic. Yeah.
Yes, the main causes of kidney disease is diabetes and hypertension. So we try our best to, you know, let everybody know, try to maintain a healthy diet, exercise as much as you could, get as much rest, maintain the intake of sugars and salts that you're taking into your body. If you can do your creatine and bone test at least once for the year to check how your kidney is functioning, we ask you to do so, and just maintain your kidneys and protect yourself so that you don't reach end-stage renal failure. You know, it's a very costly disease, very expensive disease. We try to assist patients as much as we could. We're non-profit, so we do fundraising activities in order to assist our patients.
And when you say end-stage renal failure, it means the kidneys no longer work.
Yes, no
so
longer
then you
function.
require the dialysis machine to do what the kidneys would have done.
Yes, that's right.
So, Anne, do you want to tell us a bit about your journey? You are a dialysis patient. You get dialysis 3 times a week for almost 5 years.
It's like in and out 3 times a week.
Yeah.
It's not all the time. I could afford the 3rd session.
Go ahead. I want to get into that.
It's kind of challenging and difficult at the same time, but if you have people around you that is loving and caring and can also assist you, that motivate you more in this lifetime, because it's a very hard struggle. It's not something that you think you just go pick up and say, okay, here it is. This is it. It's a whole life change for you, real life change. Your eating habits need to change. A lot of things change, you know. It's a fighting situation therefore it's not easy for sit down on a machine for 4 hours. Yeah, it's very difficult, but with me, I talk full, so my nurses so with my nurses there, they are always excited when I'm here, there to start my session and things now. And getting plucked is not joke either too, for the juking your skin so often. Sometimes like with me, I always hypertensive, so that knocked my kidney out at age 40.
Wow.
You know, and it's been a journey for me since then, but excited journey. 'Cause every other day for me is another day. Thank the Lord, first of all. And the fighting battle is always turn, but good at the same time. Like what I say, you have to have faith, joy, and happiness. That is the key to this success for make you can actually fight this disease. They have time when you break down, you have time where therefore you will be fighting for your life. Like for example, last week that time I'm in the ICU.
Wow.
And today,
what happened?
Well, actually, my heart was, the doctor said it was critical because it was at 20% of intake with oxygen. So that's what made me end up in the ICU now. Like what I said there, sometimes they will be fighting battle and sometimes they will be good battle.
How did you find yourself at the Kidney Association?
They actually help you a lot. And I actually now turn to them a lot, but only when I really do need it. Like when I need my operation, they were there for me. Like really there for me. Cause one of my tests itself, the PTH test, was $88 for one. The surgery was $500, but I work at Ministry of Health, so they may assist me with that. That
was going to be my question, because a lot of times when people hear things like dialysis treatment, they don't realize that it is a new lifestyle that you have to adapt. So if you go 2 or 3 times a week, that's 4 hours just on the machine, where the blood is pumped out, cleaned, and then put back in. But then sometimes you feel tired, or you feel a little sick afterwards. So how do you keep a job, which you probably need to pay for your 3rd session?
That is why you need a job, so you can pay for your 3rd session. Because it's not everyone out there giving you a hands out. And not everybody like to beg. That is me.
And so how do you work out those arrangements with work?
They actually work with me a lot. I can't complain. They know when is my session, because we have something that we call report. We need to put it in a report so they know exactly what we're doing. And my work, actually with me, anytime I need help, they're there for me.
Is that always the case, Elizabeth, that people can keep working?
No, that's not always the case. Some people, like Miss Anne, who's on the government program, they assist about 96 patients currently with 2 dialysis sessions per week. We have at least about 38 members that we assist, and they are out there. Some of them were the breadwinners in their family, but like you said, when going on the dialysis, it affects you physically, emotionally. They are not able to do that dialysis and work. We have 6 dialysis centers across the country of Belize, but it's not in every district. And so there are members, let's say from the south, who there's no dialysis center in the south currently, so they have to travel on a daily basis. And imagine you getting up from probably Punta Gorda or Toledo, traveling to the nearest center in Cayo, and having to spend 4 hours, and then having the strength to go back on the bus all the way home for so much more hours. It doesn't allow you to work for those days, so that's why we try to reach out to them, and we assist any way we could. The Kidney Association assist them.
Yeah, the Ministry of Health program, I know, has been a savior for many. But it will never be enough, because there are always more people who require dialysis.
Yes.
Let's talk about the average cost. At one point, I think it was about $300 per session. Was it?
Well, the dialysis is $200 per session, but you still need to pay for your vitamins and your medication that you need afterwards. Some of the medication that you need is not, you can't get it in the country, and so you have to get it from abroad. We can assist them in doing that. And when you're told that you need to take dialysis, you don't just walk into a dialysis center. You need to go and get either your catheter, your fistula put in. You need to pay for that
Which
fistula.
is a surgery,
yes, and you need to pay for the surgery to get it put in. Then you need to do that dialysis, you know.
And so at the cost of, let's say, $200, you should do it 3 times a week.
3 times a week, yes.
To stay, to just maintain.
Yes. You're looking at like $600 per week
Per week.
plus medication and everything. That's about $2,400 for the month.
Just to stay alive.
Just to stay
It
alive.
won't cure it or fix it.
No, it won't fix it or cure it, you know.
It's just clean your inside.
And I mean, even if you're looking for a kidney transplant, there is still a cost to do a kidney transplant, and after medication to provide for the kidney transplant, you would still have to do that. You wouldn't pay for dialysis anymore, but you would still have to pay for the medication, and that isn't cheap either.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And I think you mentioned earlier, you know, ideally for dialysis patients, you try to get those 3 sessions in because you know you need it. But there are times and there are people who they get on the program, but they can't afford the 3rd one. That's still almost $800 for them to pay for that 3rd session. And if you look at whatever you make for the month, that's $800 out just in being able to get treatment to stay alive. And as you said, vitamins and other medication necessary.
Yes, and some people, if you are a minimum wage earner, you are not even making $800 for the month. So, you know, we need somewhere to turn to. We end up doing the association. I can get into it. We have our fundraising events, you know. We reach out to the business community. We do things. We have our grand raffle coming up. I brought a raffle boat to show. We have tickets available. We have 15 fabulous prizes, and we're asking if everyone in the nation can donate $2. It's $2 a chance, and you get a chance to win one of the prizes. We have our first prize, which is $1,500. Our second prize, a stove. We have prizes like barbecue grills and sewing machines. We thank all our sponsors and donors who donated the prizes. And if you would like to purchase tickets, we still have tickets available. You can contact either myself at 602-7389 or Miss Anna Cortez, our administrator, at 615-6861, Miss Ruben Nicholas at 615-3532. The raffle will be drawn on Saturday, March 26th. Right?
Yeah, that was going to be my follow-up question, because I see that you're the Kidney Association of Belize, and I know that other NGOs that deal with health have sister NGOs internationally. Is that the same for the Kidney Association here?
Currently, no, but we are looking out there to partner with other associations to see how they can assist us in our endeavors in our country.
And this is one of the challenges of COVID-19 that we didn't talk about, where you used to have events that could allow for fundraising to come in so you can help patients with the cost of dialysis, the surgery, or medication. So now it's just the t-shirt sales and raffles that's helping you to generate income?
Yes, well, what happened was we normally have the raffle, so we're still doing our raffle. We have our t-shirt sales. We reach out to the businesses, invited them to purchase the t-shirts. They're $25 a shirt, and we asked them if they would allow their staff today to wear these shirts. But we're saying that it's not only on World Kidney Day you can wear the shirt. For the entire month of March, you can also wear the shirt. So anyone that's interested in purchasing the shirts can contact us. We normally hold a Red Night Gala with Belaifa. We partner with Belaifa in October. It's in the end month of October. The tickets for that, the proceeds of that 50% goes to the Kidney Association. So that's one way we do it. We have people out there who assist us at times. We do dinner sales, whatever we can to raise funds, and those funds are what we use to assist the patients.
And Anne, what do you say to people? Because as Elizabeth mentioned earlier, you know, there's the Kidney Association that offers support in many different ways, not just financial to patients, but also in trying to educate others about understanding why to maintain their diabetes and hypertension, and why to take care of their kidneys?
Well, I'll be honest, I was a person that take care of myself. Really take care of myself. So I always say what will happen in life will happen. Don't care, just all you need to do, even if you reach a renal stage, is fight. Family love, like I always say, family love goes a long way. If you don't have that, that is what broke you down, make you feel down. Don't care what, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You understand?
So the KHMH is venturing into kidney transplants. Is that something that is possible for patients who are on dialysis?
It's not possible. It can happen because I may have a sister that was a renal failure and she did that transplant. But what happened, my brother gave her one of her kidney already, but that ended up they failed. So unfortunately she passed away like 3 years ago too. And it's a battle, but they can actually do it. But I don't see myself would do it.
Yeah. Okay. And Elizabeth, let's take it back to some of the foundational. How do we know if we have a problem with our kidneys? What are the signs?
Okay. There are 5 stages for the kidney disease. For stage 1, 2, and 3, those are mild. You won't see any symptoms. So your kidney will just be going down, not functioning properly. When you reach stage 3, going to stage 4, then we say it's chronic kidney disease because the kidney starts to malfunction. You will start to see swelling. It will swell, it will retain liquids, swell up. You will get rash, itching, nausea, tiredness. You know, those are some of the many symptoms that you will see. Now, when you reach stage 5, that is when they say it's end-stage renal failure. That's when there is no function of the kidney. It isn't doing what it's supposed to do, and you end up on the dialysis machine. So some of the stages. What you can do, we always suggest that you do a kidney function test. Test your creatinine and your bun, maybe at least once a year or twice a year if you could, so that you know if the kidney is functioning. You know, and we always suggest, as we recommend, drink your water. Drink your water.
What happens if a patient doesn't receive dialysis treatment?
Well, you need the kidneys needed, you know, that you won't survive. You won't survive because the function of the kidney, it takes the blood and it takes out what should be waste and put back into your body what is needed. And if it's not doing that, then all the waste is staying inside of you and you won't survive. You won't survive. So like Ms. Ann said, you know, if you're diagnosed with end-stage renal failure and you have to do dialysis, turn to your family, turn to the Kidney Association. There are people out there who can help you emotionally, try to get the financial assistance that you can. You will survive. You just need to take care of yourself, change your diet, and Ms. Ann is right here with us.
5 years. And I love what you said. It's more than just getting the dialysis, it's everything else as well, right?
Yes,
how you eat, the right mind frame.
A strong mind, strong families, understand me?
Because
you say you don't do it every week.
Yeah, every week. Have to.
You have to do it every week.
Yeah, poison inside if you not do that. Poison inside. I've been there. I knocked the heaven doors and everything.
Yeah.
My journey is not just like how you see it. It's been a fighting battle, a real fight. And no care what, I still keep on ticking.
What's the hardest part?
The hardest part in this is watching my son. For knowing that anytime I could go lift him. So he get me stronger.
How old is he?
He's 18 now.
Okay. Yeah.
He's 18 now.
You said you were living a healthy life. Everything was healthy. It's just your kidneys.
I never drink. I used to drink back in the days. I may stop years ago. No drink, no smoke, no nothing. I always used to do water.
Wow.
I was a straight athlete. So I think that helped me a lot too, you know, keep my body to fight anything.
One of the things we try to ask, you know, when in our educational awareness, we ask that we've been to schools, we even try to ask people when they reach the ages to understand, go home and ask your parents, your grandparents, do we have a family history of hypertension, diabetes? Because I might be young and nothing's happened with, like Miss Ann said, she was quite healthy, living her daily life, and when it hits you, you might be at stage 4 or 5 and you didn't even know. So, to one of the awareness, go and ask your family, do I have that? So you start from a very early age to maintain your diet, watch your amount of sugars, do your testing, be prepared.
Yeah,
it
can silently,
hit you.
Be devastating your body.
Like with me now, every 6 months I make my son do physical. Because at the end of the day, like what the doctor may tell me, in my family.
Yeah, you said you lost your sister to renal failure.
My sister, my mom, 2 of my sister and my mom.
Wow.
They're renal failure patient too.
But you're fighting 5 years and counting. What do you say to other patients? I imagine sometimes it's got to be really hard.
Imagine it is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard. Like what I say, it's just fighting battle.
Yeah.
But please, everyone, take care of yourself. Life is too short.
And support the Kidney Association as well.
Yes, I'd just like to say that for the month of March, we're doing our grand raffle on the 26th. This Sunday, we're hosting a church service at the Bible Baptist Church on Coney Drive. So we're inviting everyone to come to the church service, I'd like to say some prayers for those families who have lost patients and for current patients doing dialysis. We will be visiting some dialysis center. We wanted to do it countrywide, but like we said, it's expensive to educate and to travel, and the risk that we might put our patients at. So we will be visiting one in Belize City, and a raffle at the end of the month also. And our t-shirts you can purchase throughout the month so that you can wear it. You can wear it any time of the year.
All right. Awesome. Well, we do hope people show their support. The t-shirts are $25. The donations for the book, for the raffle book?
It's $2 a chance. The raffle book comes with 11 stubs, and the last one is free, so it's $20 per book.
All right. And show your support. Thank you both for coming in and for sharing your story and reminding us about keeping a positive outlook.
Yes.
And Elizabeth, of course, tell us about the work that has been ongoing from the Kidney Association.
And I just want to leave you, let everyone remember to drink your water.
That's right.
Yes, thank you.
And get the blood test if you can.
Yes, that's right.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll be talking to the Resilient Girl Club. That's coming up in a few. Stay tuned.
No make no sense at all. No kind of sense. That Belize video when I have that sign up there in China for.
That not in your Chinese at all, that in Spanish.
You understand what it said then?
Yeah. It said wear your face mask properly, cover your nose and your mouth.
Will help prevent the spread of COVID to others. Together we could make Belize safe.
Wear your mask properly over your mouth and nose to protect yourself and others. Together we can keep Belize COVID-19 safe.
With eCash, bill payment is extremely convenient, and all utility companies accept eCash payments. What's even better? You get to split bills with your roommates, siblings, or whoever you desire. Simply open your eCash app, go to Bill Pay, tap the respective utility company, enter the information, and pay the bill. Then tap the transaction made. Tap Split the bill. Select Evenly. Send the request to who you are splitting the bill with, and get notified when they pay. Talk about making life easy and avoiding confusion. You can split the bill for restaurants, grocery stores, and for any eCash payment you make. To find your next yummy meal, hair treatment, or chill spot, simply open the app and utilize the geolocation service to see nearby businesses that accept eCash. Geolocation and bill payment make life a whole lot easier.
If you're looking for low-cost television advertising, have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind-the-scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
This is a message from the Belizean Youth for Road Safety in collaboration with the Belize Road Safety Initiative and BEM. When you reach that light, take heed, reduce speed. Hold up when you reach that light, take heed, reduce speed. Hold up when you reach that light. Hold up when you reach that light. Wait till it change up when you reach that light. Hold up when you reach that light. Wait till it change up. Hey. Red means stop, green means go. When you see the yellow, then the time for go slow. Some people like rush, why them off the act so. Your destination got nowhere to go. Look out, the people where they walk across the road. Look out, the people where they ride across the road. When you're walking, look out for the hand signs though. The pedestrian signal will die. When you reach that light, take heed, reduce speed. Hold up when you reach that light, take heed, reduce speed. Hold up when you reach that light. Hold up when you reach that light. Wait till it change up when you reach that light. Hold up when you reach that light. Wait till it change up.
And we are back.
We are.
And we're continuing with another conversation of all girls. This time we're going to be finding out about the club called Resilient Girl Club. I'm so excited to hear about this. We have with us the founder, Geraldine Herbert, and we also have two of the members joining us. I believe you said from Benke and Sokot?
Yes.
That's right. So we have Chantal Hernandez and Lydia Herbert. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning, Belize.
Good morning.
Yeah. So it's a club for girls between the ages of 13 and 18, teenagers, essentially. But Geraldine, set the backdrop for us here. What was the motivation behind starting up this girls club?
Well, of course, the motivation is, for me, it was personal.
Yeah.
Working with women and girls, of course, I'm a woman. And so it was just an opportunity for me to see how I can give these give them an opportunity, an advantage. How can I give them an advantage at life? And so, a lot of the things that I wanted and that I needed, that I knew would have molded me into a much more resilient, confident young woman are the things that we're aiming to equip these young ladies with. So, I want to give them that advantage that I did not have growing up as a young woman, So that's the core motivation behind the group.
What are some of the objectives and the goals, And I think about girls clubs, and when I think about things and activities for young girls, I think about things like brownies and scouts. So what is it that the Resilient Girl Club has to offer its members?
All right, so as the Resilient Girls Foundation, our vision is that we want to empower women to take up space and to break biases. And that is why I love the theme for this year's Women's Day, because breaking biases are so important. You know that there's a lot of bias, whether conscious or unconscious, that makes it difficult for women and girls to move ahead, because there's a lot of assumptions about what are the goals of women, what are our ambitions or expectations that are held around, raising families versus us as women having leadership roles. And so these biases really keep women from moving ahead, keep young girls from moving ahead. And so our main objective as a group is to really empower these young girls and equip them so that they can go out, they can take up space in a positive way. We aim to help these young girls to dig deep. We want them to thrive. We want them to unfold their true strengths. We want them to recover their identity as strong young women. We want them to develop the courage to live authentically. And some of our core values is about love, it's about compassion, and most importantly, service to others.
So let's hear from these resilient girls, Lydia and Chantal. So what made you want to be a part of this group? Let's start with you, Chantal.
Okay. Well, I recently joined this group, but the reason why I wanted to join this group was because I had friends, but I wasn't surrounded by, they didn't motivate me. So finding this Resilient Girls Club, I wanted to join to have a sense of support, and of course for me to support the girls as well, and just to empower each other through this foundation.
That's so beautiful what you said. Let me hear from Lydia though. Lydia?
Okay, so I decided to join this group because, first of all, I'm not much of so I don't really like socializing, and I thought that maybe joining this Resilient Girls Foundation would make me a better person, and also because I want to help. I want to be able to show other girls that they're not the only ones, and that I don't know, I just want to help them to become a better person, and that to show them that there's more to life.
I like that. So when you talk about helping others, I think I've been hearing that phrase circulating around. What are some of the activities that the Resilient Girls Club does?
All right, I could share on that. So let's speak specifically to Women's Month. Currently, we have a lot of activities that we have the girls engaged in. We've been collecting grocery items from, I'm also a high school principal. I'm the principal of the high school here in San Jose Socots. That's Alvin L. Young Nazarene High School. And so we've gathered our students to participate along with the girls group to, collect grocery items that we're going to be sharing with single mothers in the community. We also have coming up this month, we have a day of activity with the young girls from the community where they will be doing some arts and craft and playing some sports. We're also doing some community service at the Octavia Waite Home. And we also do a lot of community service here in this village as well. Some of the things that we've been engaging the girls in, though, it's more than just community service. We want to equip them. So we have sessions that, they learn about, self-confidence, harnessing their self-confidence. We have a session actually coming up on the 26th of April. And it's going to be a virtual session entitled Harnessing Your Self-Confidence. And it's a master class. And it's opened to girls from all around the country and even globally because it's virtually. We also have sessions about entrepreneurial skills because we want these young girls to know that, they have skills, they have something that they can offer, that they have something that they can do, that they can use to, to begin to make finances. They're not too young. And also sessions about financial intelligence and a lot of conflict resolution session, as well as we just socialize. Recently, probably about 2 weeks ago, a group of girls and we went hiking up to San Antonio and we sat there and we had breakfast together and we just had a good time. So it's also about building relationship as well.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to come back to. Chantel, you said something so powerful. How old are you?
I'm 16.
You're 16. And you realize that you have friends. There's nothing wrong with your friends, but you wanted persons who can help to motivate you to be better. I can't even begin to explain to you the level of self-awareness that you have to recognize that and how wonderful it is that you did something about it. What has it been like since you joined the club and you've met other girls who have this shared mission?
Well, I never thought, first of all, that I would be in doing this type of interview because I was very, as Lydia had stated, I'm very shy in a way. So when I entered this this foundation, I began to see that I had to provide more, and the different girls in this group, all of them have different talents, I would say. So I learned from each one of them. I learned from Miss Geraldine because she is an extremely confident person and I admire that from her. So I got that sense of confidence from Miss Geraldine. So, yes.
Geraldine, resiliency, right? This is such a necessary, I mean, some people call it grit. It is the power to power through because things do get hard sometimes. Let's talk about how you try to build this foundation in the young girls from your club.
Well, one of the things that, when I heard Chantel just now sharing about she's gaining that self-confidence from looking at me, I almost teared up because it means so much to me. Because the truth is, I've not always been a confident woman. I am just now, learning to walk in that boldness and that courage and that confidence of who I am, in spite of my shortcoming. And that's why we have, and that's why we chose the name, The Resilient Girls, because I think it's so important for women to know and to understand that you don't have to have it all together to be a powerful woman or to be an empowered woman, because I've recently learned from a session that I've been in that some women actually believe that to be an empowered woman, it means that you have it all together. You don't face insecurities. You don't face those type of issues. And that's not true.
Absolutely.
That is not true. Exactly. We all have our insecurities and we all have our little battles that we have to face every day. But it's the courage to stand up and to be bold and to walk in that confidence of knowing who you are in spite of those little shortcomings that we all have. That is really what gives me the courage. So for me, it's about personally walking the walk. One of my favorite quotes from John Maxwell says, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Yep. And for me, it's really about, being an example and living up to, what to practice what I preach, because I know that these girls are looking at me. And just hearing Chantel, she just confirmed that, and so I think that's the core of it for us, not just myself, but the other ladies that also volunteer along with me in the foundation. It's about really walking the walk, and not just talking the talk.
So tell us about the volunteers that you have, and I love your point. I think it really is important that we continuously underscore, especially for little girls growing up, that nobody really has it all together, and the most empowered or confident looking person is walking around with their own battles, and they have flaws, and it's about being able to recognize them, work on the ones we have. But the girls that you have as your volunteers, are they teenagers too, or what's the mix that you have?
Well, I have a mixture of a different age range. So I have Miss Valentine Pitts that volunteers along with us, Miss Monique Ely that volunteers along with us. Monique Ely works at the Belize Healthcare Partners.
Yeah, we know
Miss Valentine Pitts works along with her husband. They have a mission. They have a group, an organization that they also run, where they deal with bringing in mission teams and doing other projects and so on here in Belize for young people as well, for adults, for a vast group of people. And Miss Esther Gillam, she is a teacher at the Belmopan Comprehensive High School, as well as an adjunct lecturer at the University of Belize. And then we have Miss Stephanie Gillett. She is a young woman. And we have Leslie Gonzalez, also a very young lady. She recently graduated from Belmopan Baptist High School. So we have a different range of women that help to volunteer and lead the team.
So right now you are recruiting. How many members do you have in your club, and where are they stationed? Your volunteers seem to be all over Belize. Is that the same for your membership?
That is correct. Mm-hmm. So when we held our first when we held our first camp last year in July, we had a wide variety of girls coming from all over the country. Here in the club was held in San Jose Socots, because that's where I'm based. And the ladies and everybody came this side. We had girls from Belize City, from Belmopan, as well as here in San Jose Socots, as well as from Benque and San Ignacio. Mm-hmm. We meet virtually, but most of the meetings that we do are face-to-face. So, of course, the core group is here in the Cayo area. But we want girls to know that that they can connect with us. We have a chat group where we have girls from all over the country who are a part of the group, who may not be able to meet for every meeting that we have. But whenever we have different sessions that are held virtually, they connect, they join in. We have games night. We've held game nights virtually, where all the girls from all over the country have been able to join in, and different sessions where they're able to join in. So, it's open to girls from all over the country, and we want to encourage, parents, to have your children join something that is positive, something that will help to mold them into strong young women that will become the leaders of this country.
And you know what?
Different capacity.
As you said all of that, one thing jumped out at me. They'd be off social media and actually socializing, which is a skill set that is also necessary for today's teens. We can't knock social media. That's going to be a part of their lives, but somewhere they have to learn those social skills of interacting with other people and other girls of similar age and interests. Let me get Lydia back into the conversation here. Lydia, tell us about some of your experiences as a part of the club.
I've had some very, very fun experiences for this past year. I've met some very amazing friends. I've been able to be more outgoing, have more fun, and I've seen the beauty of life, that there's more to everything, that there's more than just problems, or that there's more to everything. And just having girls that actually you know, like Chantal said, they motivate you. They're not just there to bring you down, but like are just there. Maybe might not understand, but just to be there.
Mm-hmm. And Chantal, what would you say to other girls who are watching about why they will enjoy this girls' club?
Okay. There are so many reasons for this, but the main reason is that we are surrounded. There are many girls nowadays who tend to feel that bringing down other women makes them feel better. So in this group, other girls are the same. We both have different talents, and we both, our main goal, as Ms. Geraldine has stated, is to empower them and to know that they're not alone, that despite the problems they may face, because social media is filled with so many negative things, and it tells you how especially young women are supposed to act, how they're supposed to dress. And throughout that social media platform, there is where insecurities are, So then here in this group, we want them to embrace their insecurities, to just be confident, and to just enjoy life, of course, with these beautiful young ladies we have in our group.
I love it. Can I join? I can pretend to be 13.
Pass for 18.
Geraldine, fantastic initiative. I do hope, and this is where technology really does help, that you can have the girls from so many different parts of the country participate. So how do people sign up?
All right, so if you would like to sign up, you can get in touch with me at 631-0725 or 671-8382. All right, and you can message me through WhatsApp. You can also visit our page at the Resilient Girl _Foundation on Instagram and the Resilient Girl _ Foundation on Facebook, and you can send us a message to join to be a part of this club.
I have just one more question.
Sure.
Parents are watching and they're saying, I'm going to sign up my daughter for that. Do you prefer that the child makes that decision, or you're gonna welcome them even if mommy or daddy are forcing them?
Well, we will welcome them even if mommy and daddy is forcing them. One of the things that that I have found, and I also share this with the girls, that we as parents, we as the leaders, we can want so much for you. And it's not only for girls, it's even for us, for adults, to understand that people can want so much for us, but at the end of the day, we have to want it for ourselves. But I think it's important as parents for us to help our children to bridge that gap and help them to learn to make those decisions, to choose things that will benefit them. And I'm very sure that if mommy signs them up, they might be reluctant in the beginning, but soon enough, they will definitely be glad to be a part of this club.
All right.
I love that. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning. We want to be a part of the Resilient Girl Club. And as you heard it right here from Geraldine, look them up on their social media, message her on WhatsApp, and get involved. Surround yourself with people that have the same like mind as you, and motivate others to do the same. Thank you, ladies, once again for coming. And with that, we're going to take our final break and come back for a wrap up. Stay with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
So cute.
So cute. Good stuff.
When something is good and you can save, that makes it even better. Like this guy, he buys Flex bundles using his promo credit. No worries when his primary credit is finished. He gets talk, text, and data for free. Or her, she calls her family internationally with her promo credit. And with data packages so affordable, she even does video calls. Smart continues to offer great deals and affordable promotions. As a small business owner, she saves when she uses her promo credit to call the other guys. All Smart customers enjoy more triple days and knowing they can use their promo credit, which just lasts longer. Smart, bringing people together.
Hi everyone, my name is Gabriela and my name is Kieran. Today we're going to be learning how to put on makeup.
Connecting people, a smile. NextGen, the ultimate digital experience.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank contactless MasterCard debit card. Introducing our standard debit and MasterCard Platinum debit cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
And we're back. And completely out of time.
Yes.
Our first panel really did go over, but it's been great conversations all around. And that final one, I think, really just seals it all off. So thank you to all our guests who joined us this morning. We appreciate it. Thank you to you, our viewers who tuned in.
Yes.
But that's all the time we have for today.
Yes, that is all the time we had. I really enjoyed the conversation. But thank you once again for opening your eyes and you
start your morning right. And if you'd like to contact us, send us an email at oye@channel5belize.com.
And of course, you can always look us up on our socials, on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ, and of course on Instagram at OYE Belize.
And remember to tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 when you open your eyes.
Start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open.
We'll see you soon.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.